My first experience that I recall vividly would be when I was 8 years old and I was raped by a neighbor's houseboy and his friend. And so I didn't think it was okay for me to speak up about what else happened to me. I processed everything as anger. As I grew up, there were several other kinds of violations I suffered. Sexual violations, physical violations in different ways. I was offered to people, and if I did not agree, I would be threatened. As a young girl who was doing well,
Yes, I had a very terrible experience about domestic violence, in the sense that the last attack almost took my life, and even before the last attack that finally landed me in the court, there have been several attacks which I run to the government, like the police to be precise. And then the first time I was advised to go back home, that it's not good to divorce and all that and all that. Well, I listened to my counselor, who happened to be my IPO. The second time, few weeks after it happened again, I ran back to her. And at a point, she became like very uncomfortable with me. Presently, the case in the court now, that story they said there is no light in the tunnel. The judge arrived, went to his office, and I was sent to come to his office. The man had to gain entrance to the house and brought down the door. The pictures are with the police. He's even with the same judge that is asking me. I think, yes, he's with the judge. He's in the case file. He brought down the door because when the noise was too much, I knew he's going, I know him, I know his actions. So I packed my children to one of the rooms and I locked the door.
Ali requested them to get my phones for me in his room and my slippers. My school security said they could not give access to the perpetrator's room, that would have to go to the police, who went to an outpost around the market. They also said the same thing, but we ended up at the Agoma Palace, Agoma of Kwagwalada, and he was of the opinion that I should not push further with the case. I should let it go, because if I push further with the case and people hear that, there will be no man willing to get married to me. And his wife was also saying the same thing. He's also in first year. That do I know how many cases of rape they bring?
Marriage is not a do or die. It's never a do or die. Some people will say, hey, when your child is raped, don't talk. People will say this, people will say that. It is not true. If you don't expose that person, you never can tell how many people have been involved on that and how many people that are still going to happen. So if you don't speak, if you don't take it up, that means you are still encouraging those people to continue what they are doing. Because if it happens to you, they are ready to cover it so that people will not hear. So one, it makes me to be an advocate, either for children and for women.
There was a post online going around that he didn't try to rape me. That, as a matter of fact, I came to his house, I requested for porn, and we actually agreed to have sex, but I ran out. Oh God. And I just ran out and I started screaming that he was trying to rape me. Like, I'm a mad person. When they put up the post, they put up my picture, they put up my name. Like, you won't miss it. They put my name, put whatever people call me. They said she's the course rep of this so department. She's this, she's that. She belongs to this group in school. So you won't miss it. It just continued like that. After he was released on bail the second time, he came to my house. So I was in the house and one of my friends called me and said, oh, where are you? I said I was in the house. She said, was I alone? I said, yes. She said I shouldn't go out because there are some people outside my house, and then she recognized them that they are cultists, and she thinks it's relating to the case going on because I was adamant dropping the case. And so I called the police. They came and then they took the boys. By the time I got out of my house and got to the police station, He came and said, oh, that they were his friends, that they were coming to my house to beg me. And I'm like, all 5 of you looking like this, coming to my house to beg me at this time. But they insisted that they were coming to beg, they were not coming to harm me. The police did all they could to frustrate me. Like I said, they bring him to beg me, and then the next thing, the police actually gave his family, or some elderly people, my address. And then they came to my family house that they want to beg my parents. And my parents were just in the house, and all of a sudden they said some people were looking for them. They came into the house and, okay, we are here for this, we came to beg you, talk to your daughter. And my father was like, so how did you know this place? How did you find out the place? They say, oh, it's the police that gave them my parents' address. And that is how it has been.
Nigeria has not paid the money. I lost everything. And refusal to pay the money has translated to additionally traumatizing me. And I say the same applies to all the other people who, this affects as well. When the chips are down, when they say people are too shy to come up and speak, we are there saying it's not true, we're happy to speak of the mental health impact of gender-based violence. And we testify everywhere, we get into all the rooms possible, and we keep on pushing for response to gender-based violence to be seen as an emergency simply because it's a human rights issue. Over time, it's been treated as woman matter, and anything that is seen to be woman matter is not seen as important enough. But now we've proven to people that once you treat it as human matter, then you provide systems that punish perpetrators, because perpetrators could be male or female, and support victims to be able to translate into survivors.